Door knocking can become a crippling fear, detractor, our Achilles heel. It's what stops us from going to do what we do. And I hear this a lot, and it comes from the brand new person who's shaken like a leaf, literally drives up to the neighborhood and they are not able to get out the door to go knock. And then the seasoned guy who's been knocking and he just is tired. He's tired of it. Stuff's going on at home. He's having a bad day, or she, and all you want to do is go home, sit on the couch in the basement, lights off, Netflix, chill, and block the world out. But here we are, forced with a situation to go put on our bright, shiny little smile, push ourselves into an uncomfortable situation, flexing our comfort zones and doing things we really don't want to be doing in order to grow and make sales. And finding this motivation, I've been getting this question a lot. How do I motivate myself? How do I do this? So in this video, I'm going to be sharing you the best ways to motivate yourself to knock doors, because I vividly remember what it's like. I remember, so sitting in my Toyota Tacoma. It's the first neighborhood in Madison, Wisconsin I pull up to. And I just gotten my teeth kicked in for like a full week. And I look over and I have this stack of letters. I said, I'm gonna leave these on the door if no one's home. These are the first letters, by the way, the battle pack that I had written. And I'm sitting in there in my truck, and I just remember this dreadful feeling in the pit of my stomach, this anticipation, almost like stage fright, like that first feeling when you're gonna go up on stage and grab the microphone. And I know many of us in sales, like we don't get that anymore, but maybe you remember the first time that you had to speak publicly, or when you were put on the spot. And that's that feeling, but like turned up, like from 1 to 10, it's 11, it's cranking. And we can't get past the door. And I looked at that stack and I said, man, I ain't getting back in this truck till that stack is complete. And I know the feeling all too well. So this video going over the best ways to motivate yourself to knock doors, I'm going to be sharing some of the techniques that I use to motivate myself, along with the techniques I learned from interviewing highly successful sales reps that I've interviewed here on the podcast and the YouTube channel, as well as influences I've taken from amazing authors like Greg McKeown and Gary Keller and Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy, and I know it, Brendon Burchard, and a lot of these thought leaders that have provided some insight and motivation to help us reach peak performance and push through our discomfort to grow. So welcome back. Glad to have you here, by the way. My name is Adam Bensman, the Roof Strategist. If you're new here, and if you haven't already done it, I got a free offer for you. It's my free Pitch Like a Pro Roofing Sales Training video library, available right now for free at www.theroofstrategist.com. And you enter your name and email. I send you the entire video library, all 240 plus videos. At this point, we're probably pushing 260. All right, I got to update this. And these are organized by category for easy reference in starter packs and starter tracks for a new guy, seasoned pro, or company owner looking to kind of get the team ramped up. So head on over right now, if you haven't already done it, to www.theroofstrategist.com to get your copy for free. Now, let's hop into today's episode on the best way to motivate yourself to knock doors. Now, everyone is different, so I'm going to be going through from kind of most obvious to least obvious. So do stick around, because the least obvious ones are the ones that sometimes we need to tap into. So let's go into this. Best ways to motivate yourself to knock doors. Number one is a daily goal. Now, you've probably seen me write this word daily goal like 100 times on videos and podcast episodes. And the reason for that is when we look, and this is straight from the book, Gary Keller's book, The One Thing. I really love it. He talks about knocking down these dominoes. So I'm going to do a little visual aid. So we have this one little domino that can knock down a domino twice its size, that can knock down a domino twice its size, and then it continues and I'm already out of space. So visually, you knock this domino into this domino, which knocks down this domino, which knocks down the next one. So what I want to do is work from the end in mind. Stephen Covey, by the way, from the book 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, I think, unless I butchered it. At any rate, end in mind. So here's our goal domino. So if I can break this into little mini dominoes, then all I need to do is focus on this small one, because this one is a lot more palatable. And I know if I knock down these small dominoes each and every day, I'll get to that big one. So this daily goal, all I really need to do to focus on this daily goal is, it can be small. For a brand new sales rep, if you haven't even gotten out of the truck, your goal for the day could be to go knock your first door. It doesn't need to be massive. That's the fun thing. And I'll be honest with you, it took me a while to figure that part out. frankly, after my time in roofing sales, to realize that a small goal is okay. We don't need to shoot for the stars. There's a fulfillment that comes when we achieve that goal. So the daily goal can be as small as get out of the truck, knock a door, have a conversation, get an inspection. Or it could be land the big HOA, like Lucian, who just sent me a text message, by the way, or an email, landing a 32 unit HOA that he's been working on. That could be the goal. By the way, congratulations, Lucian. I'm really stoked for you, man. Life-changing. The amount of income is wild, and he deserves it. So chasing those daily goals. But Lucian didn't land that deal by just saying, I'm gonna go sign it today. The daily goal was, how do I get into that decision maker? How do I start the conversation? How do I get into the board? He did all those steps presented, then it was, how do I close the deal? So each goal can be bite-sized, all right? So that's the first thing. Sitting in your truck, what's my daily goal? How do I get out the door? All right, now, number 2, this works for, this is gonna be funny, and not everyone's gonna resonate with it. But some people I've talked with, I say, how do you motivate yourself? They say, shame myself. Now, I'm gonna spare the expletives on here. But I've had sales reps be like, I'll sit there and talk to myself, don't be a blank, blank, blank. All right, quit being a blank, blank, blank. You're not a blank, blank, blank. And they shame themselves by basically being like, come on, man, come on, self, whatever it is. You're not a, and then they put themselves down, and it creates this fire to be like, no, I'm not, I'm gonna prove it to you. You know, like self versus your inner demon, which I've done a video on the inner demon, by the way. It might be a good video for you to check out. Link to that one up here on battling your inner demon, because it's the one thing standing between us and our goal. So some people will shame themselves, and that's enough motivation to be like, I do not identify as someone who is weak, who is scared of getting out of the door. I don't identify with that. I may feel it, but I wish to break this feeling. I'm out there, I'm doing it, all right? So number 2 is shaming yourself. Funny one, but it works. Number 3, here's another one I learned from a sales rep, is to purposefully knock a door where no one's home. Funny, right? Now, why no one's home? By the way, you'll have to excuse any time I don't write clearly, because I'm trying to talk as I write. So knock where no one's home. Now, why do people do this? I heard this one from a sales rep, and he says, I do this because I get the first one out of the way. The first one's always the toughest. So he'll park in front and get out and just knock on that door to go through that motion and to be seen in the neighborhood. And that way he doesn't have to face the anticipation of someone being home. He can leave the letter at the door and then move on. But again, it basically is like ripping the Band-Aid off and getting the first one out of the way. I really love that one. I'll be frank, I had never used that one myself. All right, number 4. This one is the reward system. Now, what do I mean by that? This one I used a lot. I would say to myself, and I shared that story with you, when I was selling out of my Toyota Tacoma, I kept that stack of my letters to leave at the door if no one was home. And I said to myself, I'm gonna treat myself. By the way, I was broke, so treating myself was like a day sitting down by the lake because it was free. Some people, it's like I'm gonna go on vacation. I often like to get up north and go camping, so I would keep my bag packed up on Saturdays, ready to go, but I would not go until I hit my daily goal. So Saturdays, daily goal Saturday, 1 sale, minimum. Sometimes I set up for 2 sales, depending on what was going on, if I needed to catch up, right? So I would always have, okay, as long as I get that 1 deal, I get 2 contingencies this Saturday, I'm out, I'm going camping. And that way I could kind of check out knowing I had achieved it. So same thing with like, if I get this done today, I'll treat myself. I'll cook, make myself a steak, go out for some drinks with some friends. So putting together this if-then scenario. Now, it does require discipline to reward yourself, but if you have that discipline, it can be really, really fun to say, I do this, and you know what? Now I'm gonna go treat myself because I deserved it and because I earned it. And this reward system treats yourself and creates that positive output over and over again because you're rewarding yourself. And after all, who doesn't love a fun reward? Now, this one, I started to, this frankly is my motivation now. You know, it's weird for folks like you to reach out and like, Adam, I can't believe I'm on the phone with you. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy who loves helping people succeed. And to me, I have hard days too. Making videos for you and podcast episodes can be tough sometimes. I have to bring my whole self to serve. And if I have stuff going on, it's really challenging. So one thing that I've learned recently, and I've shared this with another gentleman, and I'm gonna tell you that story first before I write it down, is to find out who needs you. Who are you here to serve, okay? And I'll give you an example. I run this private training, Gentleman walks up to me at the end. He was really engaged, young guy, new in the industry. And I saw a side of him I didn't see during the training for the full day. And he was almost tearing up, very emotional and shaken. And he says, Adam, how do you motivate yourself to get out the door? It's really scary for me. So he's facing this exact thing. And I look at him, I said, why are you doing this, man? And he says, to make good money. It's like, I know, we all are, but why? It's like, well, I came from a gas station job. So he was a gas station clerk and trying to change his life. And I said, you know, do you have any loved ones? Are you married? Do you have any kids? He says, no. I said, do you have anyone that relies on you? He goes, yeah, I live with my mom and I help support the house. I said, so you carry some financial burden at the house? He goes, yeah. I said, so you want to make a better life for you and your mom? He says, yeah. And I said, man, think of your mom sitting, this story still gives me chills because I know this feeling. Think of your mom on the other side of the window, okay? You're in your driver's seat and she says to you, hey, honey, the only way you're going to make this happen is if you get out and face your fear and do it. And when you start making this about someone else and not you, it removes a whole lot of burden because now we're doing it for someone else. And it's always easier to do something for someone else than it is for yourself. So do it for someone else, all right? What's your why? Who are you here to serve? And I really want you to think about that. I had another same trip, very inspiring team, and I'm leaving names out for privacy reasons. Sales manager, his son was diagnosed with autism. His drive is to provide the best possible life, resources, and opportunities for his family. So when he has a hard day, he thinks of his son that he has to invest in. And this stuff still, I mean, it literally raises the hair on my neck because it gets me emotionally charged knowing that each and every one of us is human. And what I love about roofing sales is it levels the field. We all have baggage. We all have stuff we're going through. And this industry provides us an opportunity to provide for ourselves and others in a way that just isn't possible for most people in general. And we're able to do it with no experience. And we just need to tap into this drive. So when you're doing it for someone else, we can get pulled up if it's creating the opportunities, putting your kids through school, creating opportunities for your kids that you didn't get, supporting your wife. John on my team, John, shout out to you. His goal was for his wife to be able to transition from work to being a stay-at-home mom because that was their dream and it's coming to life. So he's driven to support that. And I love it, and it's happening now. And when we focus on providing for someone else, think of it like when you're out the door, who here needs me? Who here needs me? Is it the customers? Is it your family? All right, and this often ties in, and I'm avoiding writing this one out there because everyone talks about know your why, know your why. To me, this is it. That's the why, doing it for someone else. And I said I'm not gonna write it down. What's your why, okay? So many people, by the way, will write down why they're doing this and keep it on their visor. I had Caleb. He earned his first 6 figures 3 months after he turned 21. By the way, he's growing into a sales manager position. He ended up getting this program for himself. He had his daily sales plan from the Complete Sales Strategy printed out on the back of the visor of his truck. I didn't even know that till he succeeded. Then the owner of his company said, you know, we need this for our team. Now his team's using it. And he said, by the way, Caleb had that printed out. So having these constant reminders can really help pull us through. So what's the key takeaways? The key takeaways is this industry ain't easy. Door-to-door sales is not easy. Canvassing is not easy. We have emotional struggles and obstacles, but at the end of the day, our inner demon can be conquered. In these 5 ways, I'm going to quickly summarize for you, are different strategies that work for different people to motivate yourself to knock goals. Number 1, a daily goal. No matter how small it is, chase it. Number 2, shame yourself. All right? Talk down to yourself so you can prove it to yourself that you don't fit that definition that you just gave yourself to pounce yourself out that door. Number 3 is to knock where no one is home on purpose to get that first one out of the way. Number 4 is the reward system. Each day on that daily goal, if I do this, I get that. All right? Number 5 is to do it for someone else, the people in your life that are relying on you. All right, I hope this video helps. If you need more inspiration and motivation, jump into this playlist on motivation and hype. I know motivation is a hot topic and a big pain point for us in this industry because no one is staring over your shoulder saying, you got it, man. We have to rely on our inner resources. So jump into that playlist or right here, motivation and hype. And if you haven't already done it, go right here to download a free copy of your Pitch Like a Pro roofing sales training video library. And I'll see you in the next one.